Hello, this is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. This is a video in a series of videos that I'm putting out prior to the Delphi trial. These are all the videos that I made, not live streams, but videos that I made over the years regarding the Delphi case, starting all the way back on February 24th of 2017, where I made the first Flow of the Crime video. That's the one that Robert Ives, the prosecutor at the time, contacted me based on. Now, I'm going to be putting these out all in, big chunks of videos, and I put the date on the screen that indicates when the video was made. I was supposed to go to the trial that's coming up. I had my reservations and everything set up for the first time the trial was supposed to happen. But now I am not able to make it to the trial. Unfortunately, I feel bad because it's one that I've covered for 7 years and really want to be there, but I'm not able to be there. And not only that, the odds of getting in while you were there, getting in as a public member of the public, is very slim. There's only like 10 to 15 seats total available for all the people that are going to be waiting outside. All right, so we're going to be playing those right now, and I'm going to have the same intro on each video, so just prepare yourself. It's like a 2-hour video. You can move it around, skip it, do whatever you feel like doing, but these are all the videos over the years. So thank you all very much for watching, and let's get started right now.
This video is a more comprehensive look at the evidence indicating the crime scene flow, in the case of Libby and Abby, of Delphi, Indiana. You are looking at video of the drive to the most likely spot that Libby and Abby were dropped off for their hike on the Monon High Bridge Trail. Libby and Abby head down the trail. Perhaps the killer was nearby, watching and waiting for an opportunity to strike. He probably was aware of the traffic on the bridge prior to Libby and Abby arriving, and knew there was no other hikers on the south side of the bridge. Libby and Abby began to cross the bridge, and after crossing the river section and continuing on, Libby stopped to take a photograph of the tracks on the bridge facing southeast. Continuing southeast about 90 feet, Libby stops and turns around 180 degrees and snaps another picture. This time with Abby in the shot. Libby and Abby continue southeast. Perhaps after they reached the halfway point, the suspect, who had been trailing far behind, made his move and began quickly walking across the bridge. He knew there was nobody hiking in front of the girls. Near the southeast portion of the bridge, Libby and Abby likely noticed the man moving quickly towards them. They moved to the platform and hoped he would pass. Libby was thoughtful enough to record the man coming towards them on video, and then put the phone in her pocket while still recording. In this composite of the suspects using the image Libby captured on film, it appears he turns towards the girls.
Unfortunately, we do not have the height and weight at this time, but it appears to me he's wearing blue jeans, a blue jacket and or a coat, and it appears to me that he has a hoodie on.
The suspect took the girls off the southeast end of the bridge. Yellow crime scene tape can be seen here, indicating that the crime continued in this direction. The suspect can be heard ordering the girls to go down the hill. Another indication that the crime continued on the grounds to the east off of the southeast end of the bridge is that police parked on the private drive east of the bridge. From the end of the southeast portion of the bridge to the edge of the creek is only 105 yards. Given the location of the bodies, the suspect either carried them across the creek, or while the girls were still alive, were ordered to wade across. As you can see, the water is shallow here. "270 yards from the west side of the stream is the cemetery, where law enforcement parked to secure the crime scene where Libby and Abby were found." I hope this video helped you have a better understanding of the crime scene flow. Abby and Libby were dropped off here and began their walk to the Manon High Bridge. The video is approaching the red gates that many claim are actually people, in the photo with Abby in it. As you can see, it's merely a gate with a tree. Platform 1 is 47 feet from the start of the northwest end of the bridge. Platform 2 is 187 feet from the northwest end of the bridge. Shot 1. Platform 2 divine is 42 feet 9 inches, approximately 36 feet to Libby's camera location and approximately 236 feet from the northwest end of the bridge. Approximately 97 feet further from the vine is Platform 3, 333 feet from the northwest end of the bridge. Shot 2. Libby positions herself on Platform 3 and takes a picture of Abby. Abby is 13 feet 4 inches from the edge of the platform. The image is taken at 2:07 p.m. on February 13, 2017. Abby and Libby continue southeast. Platform 4 is approximately 474 feet from the northwest end of the bridge and 382 feet from the southeast end. Forked tree. These trees are what make up the forked tree in the background of the suspect image, as you will see later. The forked tree is approximately 567 feet from the northwest end of the bridge and 289 feet from the southeast end. Platform 5 is the platform behind the suspect in the video still. It's also approximately 625 feet from the northwest end of the bridge and 225 feet from the southeast end. When viewing the suspect image, there is an unusual bright spot on the side rail to the right of and behind the suspect's right calf. This will be shown later. Platform 6 is 70 feet from the end of the southeast end of the bridge, while the suspect is approximately 73 feet. Abby and Libby were off at the southeast end of the bridge when Libby shot video of the suspect. The suspect is heading towards them in the video stills. As you can see, the light area, as discussed earlier, is on side rail in both images. Platform 5 and the fork tree are behind the. Note that the stripes of the railroad ties on the underlying video match the suspect image as well. The suspect likely forced Libby and Abby down the hill at the southeast end of the bridge.
To where the bridge ends, coming down the hill, going across here to the creek. That's my husband's head. And wow, I keep hearing that four-wheeler. Huh? You see it across there? That crime tape. You see the tape? You see the yellow tape? Oh, it is very shallow here. So does he own to all the way here to the actual creek? I just want to give people to show you. Again, like the guy had in the video. See that limb? That's an outstanding limb. And just to give you an idea, here is how shallow. You can see the rocks. So you can cross there. You can go over here and cross. So you're already in the middle. You cross there. You're already in the middle, and you don't have too much further to go. And God bless those girls. Found somewhere over there.
This will be my first attempt at a debunking video. On Facebook and other social media outlets, there's been an absolute deluge of false information and stories regarding the Libby and Abby murder case in Delphi, Indiana. This is the first example I'm going to show you. This is a post that was made on a Facebook page that is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, and I blurred out the person's name who made the post because it's so embarrassing. All right, now look at what they did was they found a news clip online, or perhaps they even recorded it. Then they froze a frame, put their finger in it, pointing, and then took a snapshot and then made a post, and then they wrote, I'm not sure if this is their actual image that they created or got it from somebody else, and then they put in their own text that says, "The searchers are looking at Libby at the base of this tree." You know, nothing in there about possibly or I'm not sure about this. It's stating it as a fact. And then it says, "Probably in as much shock as I was to see the image of her face." What face are you talking about? It's just a blurry image with pixelation. It says, "No, I'm sure worse though, because they were there in person." You know, so these posts are meant to be really emotional and get people to sort of really riled up. And there were so many comments below this that were just, feeling this pain and outrage and so forth, that, wow, we're actually really seeing it. And you know what? The video is completely false. Okay? Well, the video itself isn't false, but the image they use is completely false. Okay? Let me show you why. All right, so here's the image. You can see the guy in the yellow and the blue there. All right, here's a close-up. The guy in the yellow right here. The guy in the blue. Here's a tree right there. Okay. Now, in the clip on the news, this is that same tree, but what the news did was they did a jump cut to a previous point in time. So when you fast forward it, go to here, they're actually farther back to the right. That's just what they did in the editing room, but either way, that doesn't really matter. Here's the guy in the yellow, same guy in the blue, Look at the guy in the blue. See, same guy. All right, so there's the guy in the blue and the guy in the yellow. All right, so this is where I was able to determine where this video was actually taken from. Now, see these 3 logs in the water right here? 1, 2, 3. You know, there's even a 4th one there. Some debris in the middle there. Now watch this. You go to Google Earth, and there it is. Right there. There's even the 4th little one there. 1, 2, 3. There's some extra, one extra little, you know, logs right there from, I think those were, actually, it rained a lot, so maybe it deposited those logs. But either way, you know, that log, and that log are exactly the same as in this video right here. There's even a little debris right there that you can see, and that same debris is right there. Okay, so that's the same location. Now watch exactly where this is located. Okay, I'm going to zoom out. Now look at this. Here's the parking area. So what the news did was they pulled up right here. They had a cameraman walk, and before they even started walking down the trail, they walked over to the bench that's near, you know, the 501 step signs right there. They walked over to the bench, and then they just filmed off the side, and there was 2 searchers right here. Okay, the crime scene, however, is 0.6 miles upstream. So you go all the way up here, and here's the crime scene. Okay, so those searchers were nowhere near the crime scene, and there was no body there, and it was all just sensationalism. Okay, so hopefully that will explain the first debunking that I'm going to do, and there'll be a series of these. I'll try to do one every couple days, because it's an absolute embarrassment, and people should just quit speculating and coming up with all these theories, saying they see, you know, skulls in the dirt, they see faces in the trees, they see cars under the bridge, they see, I mean, it's absolutely incredible out there. And as you can see, this one's a complete lie, and it was believed by a lot of people, and hopefully when they see this, they'll realize it was completely false. All right, so thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. This is debunk video number 2 in the Delphi murder case of Abby and Libby. Social media has a ton of different groups out there on these cases, or, you know, all cases, but this case has a particularly huge number, it seems like, popping up virtually every day. Some of them are actually dedicated to spreading rumors and wild speculation. And using the word wild is actually being kind. Some of the stuff is absolutely bizarre and strange, and, you know, just picturing some of these people sitting on a jury makes me a little nervous about society. All right, so here we go. We're going to start at the beginning here. And you'll see that there's a post right here that was in one of these groups. And all 3 of the images I'm going to debunk irrefutably are from the helicopter footage that you can see on YouTube or even on Facebook. And here's what it says. All of these photos were taken from the video pinned post in this group. I will encourage you to look very close to them and know this is actual footage the news released. And I want you to read that it's actual footage to imply some inherent credibility to the images that they're going to share with you, even though what they're sharing is, and trying to imply with the images, is completely bogus. Okay, so let's get started. Here's the first image. Look at that. Wow, a white car in the middle of the woods. How in the heck did that get there? That is incredible. Well, you know what? It's not. It's actually at the edge of the cemetery. And I'm going to show you this. Here's the helicopter flying in the air. Now, the helicopter footage has a lot of glitches in it, but this one will immediately zoom into it. Now, see, look right there in the background. There's a red vehicle right here and a white vehicle. And you'll see the vehicle. You can see the red vehicle, and the white vehicle is just down in the corner where my mouse pointer is. And then it's going to go down. You can see it fully there. The red car sort of disappears behind the trees because of the angle. And you can see that there's more vehicles. There's one there, there's one here, and that's just, it's at the back of the cemetery, okay? So that's what we're looking at. And what they did was they just took a still right here that made sure that you couldn't see any of the other cars, all right? And let me just prove to you that this is what we're looking at here. This is the proof that there is a red car. Now, right there. Here's the cemetery. Here's the red car in the corner. Everybody who's followed the case knows that there's an actual red car that was at the cemetery when the crime scene cars got there. Now look at, that's the white car that's in the footage, and more of them lined up right here. All right, so that basically debunks that image. There isn't a singular car in the woods. It was at the edge of the cemetery. All right, now here's the second one. Wow, look at that, another car just sitting in the middle of the woods. But incredibly, it's totally bogus too, and here's why. There's the helicopter. Now look at, there's 625, the private drive. 625 becomes the private drive, and the car is already on the private drive. Now look, it's driving, and ooh, they stop it right there and crop it out, cutting out the road on the right and the left so that it looks like it's a car just in the middle of the woods somewhere. And here, this one I'm moving out, so you can see that's the exact same image. All right, so that image, to me, they intentionally did that. It's not like you can accidentally crop out everything that would signify that it was actually on a road. All right, this was intentionally done to stir up some controversy. All right, so that's number 2 done. Now we're on to the third one. This one's a little bit more complicated, so I might stumble through it, but it's totally bogus. See, here's the yellow arrow pointing at, this is some water up here. It definitely is. It sparkles on the video. This is a still they took from it. And then this blue arrow is pointing down here to a crime, or not a crime, but where they believe they can see bodies. Okay, and it just isn't true. You can see, much like the suspect image, see how there's blobs of pixelation? Well, this is caused by video codec. Whenever you compress a video, you get some of these artifacts in there, like right there, there's right there. Okay, but the arrow's pointing right to this area. Now, what they did was you can actually see a little square in there, because I put an image in there. This is where they're saying they see the bodies, and they actually blew it up and then outlined it. Now, you'll see it here in a second. I'm gonna right there. I just put it on the screen, and you can see that they actually outline what they see are bodies there. And I mean, that's just crazy in itself also. I mean, you're just drawing lines around just color in a pattern. It's like looking at finding a rabbit in the clouds. All right, so here's some of the comments. Everybody got so excited. Oh my God, God please, and I feel sick, and my heart breaks, and this is heart-wrenching. And like, these people actually believe this stuff, and it's pretty incredible. All right, here's some more comments. This person seemed somewhat skeptical, which was good. Good to see somebody like that. And now we're back to the image. Now let me show you where this actually is. Okay, so let's start right here. Right here, you can barely see it, but that's the helicopter that's in that still shot. And here's the bridge, the Monenhai Bridge. It might be Monenhai, I can't remember exactly how you, or Monen, but anyways, here's the bridge, goes across. Here's the southeast side of the bridge. Here's the private 625 over there, and then the private drive. And then it goes around. Here's police vehicles actually parked right here, and it looks like there's another one driving there. I can't see very well right now, but we're not playing the video, but let's see. Yeah, actually, this is where the vehicles were parked. Excuse me. There might be some more down there, but I can't tell. But this is where the vehicles were parked. The crime scene itself is right over in this area. Okay. So now we're going to zoom in on the helicopters. See that? Now it's right over the southeast end of the bridge, basically. and now it's heading out into, you know, more southeast over there. Now it's taking a hard left, I think heading north. And now look, this is the key right here, this area. Now notice right now you have this object, and see this line right here? It's a discoloration. This video was taken in February. Google Earth is actually April of this year. Amazingly, they just updated it. Google Earth. So you have this discoloration line, and it runs right into the curve here. All right, so let's go over here. All right, there's the curve, the discoloration. Can you see that? Right there. It's slightly different than this, but it's greener now because it's April, and it runs right into the curve. All right, that's where that shot is when you go back to the video editing software. Now the helicopter crosses the dry area and goes across, and when it goes across, you see, boom, this area right here. It's like a road and then another road going this way. Well, let's go back over to Google Earth, and it's right there. Okay, so the side road that goes along, and this one goes here, and here's that little sort of point that you see right there. Okay. Right, so now the helicopter continues in this direction. And we'll see that. And it starts to pixelate, and then it freezes. Okay, now you see this little, that is water. Okay, but what that is water from a creek. Okay, it's one of the not Deer Creek, but it's one of the feeder small creeks that feed into it, and I'll show you right here. All right, so these creeks right here, that's what you're looking at, is exactly that right there. The helicopter's right over here flying. It just passed that, kind of came down, and you're looking at the water in this creek right here. Okay, now look where that is compared to the crime scene. The crime scene's way over here. Okay, so the supposed bodies they were looking at were right here. Now, after this video is produced, you're going to have people in that same group say, wow, so there's 2 more bodies? Instead of actually saying, oh, wow, that really was bogus. Okay, so for all the rodeo clowns out there that are actually making these images and spreading them around, don't do it. It's actually hurting the case. All right? So I'll be putting more of these out, and thank you.
Contrast with this disturbing image. And could there be a tantalizing clue in this poignant last photograph taken of 13-year-old Abigail Williams by her best friend? Look, in the distance, some see a shadowy figure.
Wow. Hooray for the sensationalism. Good job there, Inside Edition. I'm sure, however, in their defense, they were just probably lingering on a Facebook post somewhere, saw the excitement that people got, and by looking at that image, and so they thought they'd just put it in their video to get people really like, wow, geez, look at that, whoa. Okay, but in reality, there's nobody there. All right, so let's get started analyzing this image. I lightened up the image that has Abby in it, and Libby's the one that took the photograph. She's on platform number 3, and there's 1, 2, and she's on number 3. Okay, let's show you from Google Earth exactly where this is. All right, so here's platform 1, here's 2, 3. She's on platform 3. Abby is 13 feet away. The shot was taken at this angle, like this. And now in relationship to the parking area, the parking area is here. You walk right here, you turn, you come down the path right there. If you notice, right here is that original debunking video location where the 2 searchers did not see a body. Okay, so the girls walked this way, walked down the path, and they came across the bridge, and this is the location of that image looking back this way. Libby also took the first shot she took on the bridge that went to Snapchat was right in this location between platform 2 and 3, and filming in this direction. So she was pointing in the opposite direction. Okay, so let's get back to analyzing the video. All right, now here's one of the more crazy viewings that somebody had of this image. You know, they looked at it and looked at it, and then they made a post where they put this scrunched up looking face, almost looks like Jimmy Durante, if you guys know who that is. All right, now look at this. They're actually focused in on this area right here, and here is the post. You see that? A nose, a mouth, eye, maybe a cheek over there. You know, from a distance, you look at it and go, yeah, it sort of looks like a face, but they, you know, obviously they cropped out all the rest of it. And to be honest, it doesn't really even look like a real face. It just looks ludicrous, okay? So it just looks like a squished face, like if you'd made a face out of clay and then smashed it on top of its head with a brick, squishing it down, and that's kind of what it looks like, all right? So look at this. I'm going to show you exactly where it came from. Look at that. See? So somebody actually cropped this out. It's actually part of the railroad tie. Can you believe it? Unbelievable. Okay. So now we're going to go look at something else at another location. All right, you see this image right here was a video by Julie Melvin. She's in the exact spot that Libby was when she took, I mean, within 3 or 4 feet of where Libby was when she took the shot of Abby. Okay, Abby was standing about right here. It's just at a different angle. Libby was off to the side, to the left a little bit, as you can see if I move this over. That's the same location. These disrupted railroad ties are the same ones that it's right there. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but all right. So see how there's a dark area right there? That's one of the locations people say they see somebody. And then also right here, they say they see somebody. And then back, way in the back there, I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me try to enlarge this. They say that that's a person, okay? And you can see it in this image too. It's way back there. It's pretty small though. Let me see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. Yeah, right back there. And that's the same thing as in this image right here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to move forward in a video, and I'm going to go all the way up here, and then you're going to see, I didn't stop near those people, by the way, because like so many of you in these groups, you see a person, doesn't even matter when the video was taken or anything, they go, oh my God, is that the suspect? And they start looking them up and getting all excited about it. I can just tell you those were 2 women sitting on the bridge, okay? They were there like anybody else looking at the bridge. All right, now here we are. This is that same tree that they say this is a suspect. Looks more like a branch. And here is the metal bar in the background right there. It's actually a metal bar. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to zoom it in. And look at that. It's actually a metal like gate with a tall tree. There's no person there. You see that? Not at all. Okay, so can we quit talking about that as being a person standing there? All right, now let me show you that the tree off to the right of Abby, that everyone says they see a suspect, or not everyone, but they used to say it all the time, and you still see posts about it. Let me use a different video. Now this one's an absolutely clear video by Bonnie Rame. The last video was by Julie Melvin, if I hadn't said that. Okay, so here she is. She's at platform 2, which is closer, but you can see it really well right there. That's the tree, and that's the little branch behind it that people thought was a person. I don't think it's that crazy that people saw these shapes and maybe thought they were something. The problem is they've been debunked for months and months and months, and they still pop up from time to time. It's almost like, God, you know, I'm bored. I tell you what, bring out one of the oldies, huh? Let's bring that one out and see what we can get. I mean, that's like classic trolling. So let me zoom in on this one a little bit, and right there, see it? So it's a branch, and here's the tree, and there's absolutely nothing else to it. And no, this person here is not the suspect. I know you guys are looking at it like, ooh, God, look at that, look at that. This video was taken in March. That's the husband of Bonnie Rame, who were both out there filming the bridge because I asked them to get me some footage, and in specific locations. I think she was actually going to go there on her own one time and then went there specifically for me. This might have been the time she went on her own. But anyways, she got, not on her own, but with her husband, but she got a, really good footage out of it. So I think that pretty much debunks everything. If we go back to that original, I'm not sure if this dark spot right here, as I showed you, it just shows up in the other footage. Let's go back to it, which is all the way back here. And I think I need to do the fit to the screen. And see the dark spots right there again. So it's just an anomaly in the woods. It's not, unless you're saying that there's also somebody standing there in March too. Okay, it's not. That's just in the woods. I mean, if you follow this in a little bit, you can still kind of see it right there. See? That's not a person. It's still not a person, not a person. And, now you can see it's just part of a tree right there. All right? So hopefully this explains all 4 of these aspects. The gate at the end, the person supposedly behind this tree right there, and the dark spot up in the woods, and the incredible scrunched up face in the woods. All right? So for all you rodeo clowns out there, quit posting the garbage. Hello, this is debunking video number 4 of the Delphi, Indiana murder case of Abby and Libby. I will be talking today about the suspect image, and there's 2 speculations that I'll be dealing with right here. One is ludicrous, and the other one is reasonable if you're somebody who doesn't know anything about video compression. Okay, and that's why it's reasonable, because I don't think a lot of people actually understand video compression and the artifacts that are left behind. In this video, or in this image, excuse me, you'll see right there where it's blurry, and then it's blurry in between the legs. I've heard people say, though, that that's actually a plastic bag flapping around behind him, and right there. And then in this video, in this image, there's pixelation that goes all the way up there, and people have suggested that law enforcement clone stamped out something they didn't want us to see in that area. But what they fail to ever talk about when they say that is, so why is it blurry up here, all the way over there, back there, all the way around in this area? Same sort of pixelation look. Well, when I first saw these images, I knew what it was, that it's actually video compression that caused this. It's an artifact caused by video compression. All right, and let me give you an example of that. Before I go to the example, though, I do believe this image, though, was cropped from a larger image. So there is other information in the larger video, but we haven't been able to see that yet. Okay, and let me right there. This is an example right here. I think it looked kind of like this. This is in my Flow 3 video if you haven't seen it. All right, so I think they cropped out the image from that. All right, so let me give you an example of another video that has that same type of pixelation from compressed video, and that's on. I'm going to use this video by Jacob Adams, and he has a great drone video of the bridge on YouTube. And when you actually scrub through it, look at that right there. See how there you can see the trees pretty well right there? Now I'm just going to move, boom, look at that. I mean, absolutely destroyed by the compression. Looks like a fog bank flew in 1 second. And here we go. Even all the way down the bridge, you can see that it's pixelated the whole time. The compressor or codec was having a difficult time distinguishing the branches on the trees and blurred them all together. So that's what we're looking at here, is video compression artifacts, and it's exactly the same. I mean, look at that. See the blurriness? And I go back to the original, and it's got that same sort of blurriness around. That's what you get when you compress video. Now here's the second part that's actually ludicrous, okay? Here's the suspect image, and then somebody posted this image. This is the head of the suspect, and it's, you know, what they did was they just put a cigarette and claimed that, oh wow, look, I found a cigarette, but they just cropped it in there. They actually put the cigarette on the face, even put the ashen end of it. I mean, that's insane. Like the detail on that, you can't even make out an eye, really. You know, like they are claiming like that's an eye. I mean, it's really hard to tell in any of these images. It's so blurry, but the cigarette is shockingly good detail. All right, now this is what it really looks like here. Watch this. All right, so there's the face, and then you put it off to the side. You can see, like, this image has no cigarette next to it. All right, they just put that in there. There's absolutely no way in hell you can see a cigarette in that image. So this is another one of those cases where somebody intentionally is trying to deceive people. Okay? Sure, the guy might have been a cigarette smoker. He might have heart underwear on. We don't know, okay? You just can't tell. There's some things you're just not going to know. And also there's the person who posted this picture with the cigarette also thinks this is a puppy that's coming out of the jacket, okay? And you know, it's just one of those things where you just go, wow, unbelievable. So my work's cut out for me. I feel like this video just debunked 2 more aspects, so if we can move on from that, that'd be great. And for the rest of you rodeo clowns who actually want to keep posting this, just realize it's hurting the case and not helping solve anything. Thank you. This is debunk video number 5. We are going to debunk the suggestion that the 2 suspect images of the suspect on the bridge are actually 2 different people. Okay, I actually still hear this garbage. Okay, and we're also going to discuss the dog under the jacket. Okay, because there are some things that you can't disprove factually, but can strongly suggest that it's not true. Okay, which is sad, because the people who believe there's a dog under the jacket will take that as to mean, so it is a dog, it is a dog. Okay, but we'll talk about both of them. All right, so let's look at the suspect images. Okay, let's just look at this one first, and notice how there's like this indentation in the sleeve, then some folds here. You got this straight line coming down off the white object there, and now let's put the overlay. I made an overlay of just the upper part of the body that fits right over the top of this one. Okay, now notice that this has the same folds in the arm, the same straight line coming down from the white thing, and I'm going to go blink it on and off. You see that? That's the same thing. Now, unless you believe that the 2 people were at home and they said, listen, we need to have exactly the same folds in our jacket to really trick people, so let's use some epoxy and make a solid fold, make some solid folds so people can't, so it won't change and people will think it's the same person, but we're really 2 people, okay? And we'll both put a white thing underneath our chin, and we'll make the same exact buttons on our jacket or zipper or whatever that pattern is that we're looking at there. You see? So you got this and then this. That's the same. So yes, it's 1 person. There aren't 2 people. So quit talking about that. Now let's talk about, what people claim to be a dog. All right, now you see this white thing there?
listen, in the real world, dogs don't have outlines on them. That's a cartoon world. You know, like when you're watching the Flintstones, right? You know, people say, for example, in this case, they say that the dog's sideways, but the eyes are right there and right there. Well, when you watch the Flintstones, when their face is sideways, you can still see both their eyes. When when their mouth is sideways, you see both their eyes. Well, that doesn't work like that in the real world. Okay, and this right here, I've seen where someone said that's the nose of the dog, then the eyes are right here. This is a paw, the stomach area is right around in there, and these are some legs underneath the jacket, and so forth. Okay. It's just so incredibly unlikely. And let's watch the overlay back and forth. You see how that's just not a dog, right? This white thing, and actually then it extends after you do the overlay back and forth. I mean, it's interesting watching this actually because you can see on the head here. In this image right here, the suspect is looking more to his right. Then in the overlay, he turns to his left a little bit more. So that's why in this image, the short bill of the hat he's wearing blended in perfectly with the ear flap. And that's why it looked like a hoodie in this image for so long, okay? Then when he turns his head a little bit towards the camera, you can see a little bit of skin there, slight bill there, and the ear flaps on the side. Okay, now just keep looking at the white spot again there. And just look at it objectively when it's blinking on and off. How is that a dog? Okay, and like I said before, all I can say is it's not. I don't think it's reasonable to think that's a dog. I think people early on in the case heard the term catfishing and were convinced that that must be what he did. So then they saw a dog. And they're unable to change their mind over time because that's what they see in their eyes. So, I mean, I really think that they might see something, but it's irrational, okay? Because I don't see a dog at all, and most people don't see a dog, and there isn't a dog. Like I said, characters don't have, in the real world, humans and animals and trees and whatever don't have outlines. It's not like a coloring book. All right, so if you'll admit, for the dog seers out there, if you'll admit that this is not part of a dog right here, this white object, then I'll admit to you that it's possible, much like aliens from Zeta Minor could have abducted the suspect, and that's why we can't find him. It's possible that there is a chihuahua or something just inside the jacket there, creating some of these bulges. We just don't know. I've heard somebody say that maybe he's got on heart-shaped underwear, right? But we just don't know. Okay, so if you'll admit that this white object right here has nothing to do with the dog, I'll admit that it's possible that there is some kind of a chihuahua underneath this jacket. Okay? That's what I can do for you. But this is one of those ones that you can't absolutely prove because I can't see under his jacket. I don't know what's in his pocket. All right? And nobody knows what the brown, is that a fanny pack or is that just an extension of his shirt? We just don't know. Okay? I think that this right here, if you go out a little bit, this white right here is skin on his hand. And I think he's propping up something that's in this pocket. Okay, his left hand is lower, if you notice, and that's in his jean pocket. This right hand's up higher. His jean pocket would be right around in this area, and it's higher, and it looks like it's propping something up. I don't know what he's propping up, and I don't even know if he's actually propping something up. I can just say it looks like that. Okay. I see something white coming out of his, looks almost kind of like a rope, and possibly, I've talked to a few friends about this, again, we don't know because you can't see underneath the jacket, but it kind of looks like this white thing extends and then goes down, maybe wraps around, it could be a rope underneath the jacket. You know, it's hard to say. All right, so I think it's not a dog, and there are not two different suspects on the bridge. Okay, all I can tell you is that I am certain that there isn't a dog underneath the jacket. A certain, just the belief that I have based on what happened. The suspect caught up to the girls. They went to the end. He got him to go to the end of the bridge and had him go down the hill. There wasn't any, oh, check out my puppy. None of that happened. Okay. Now, if you're saying he just brought a puppy along with him, that's a little weird too, right? He's just walking around with a puppy in his jacket. That seems pretty crazy. I've heard people say that I got, on YouTube, I'm having a debate with somebody who keeps saying, you really need to look into the dog thing. And I asked, well, why didn't he just walk it across the bridge? Or why wasn't he carrying it? He's not using his hands. They're just in his pockets. He could have carried the dog, But she ignored that part and said he put it in the jacket because he can't be walked across the bridge. It's too dangerous. Well, I can buy that because it is, it's kind of dangerous. But why didn't he just hold the dog? If he was going to use it as a lure, he'd be holding it while he was walking up to him saying, hey, look at the dog, look at the dog. But that's not what he did, okay? And then why would a killer have a dog that might bark or make sounds? It just makes absolutely no sense at all. So reason and logic would say that it's not a dog, and the white portion coming out right here is definitely not a dog, okay? So knowing that, I'm hoping that you'll say, oh, well, it's not a dog. But knowing how it works on Facebook, they'll be so happy that I said it's possible that there's some little dog underneath the jacket. They'll run with that and accept that as truth. When in reality, what I'm saying is, I think it's pure lunacy, okay? So, for all you rodeo clowns out there, I hope you have just a wonderful time adding more garbage to the case, because that's all you're doing. All right? Take care, everybody. Bye. Hello, this is Debunk video number 6 in the Debunk series. There's a Facebook group that's purely dedicated to spreading rumors and lies and wild speculation. I'm not really sure why they do the lie part. It's pretty strange, actually. This video, though, is about this particular post, and this is by one of the admins of the group who seem to just have no concept of what facts are. They take some facts, then twist it around and come up with their own little numbers and times, and it's just it's mind-boggling. It's almost like they purposefully do this. As a matter of fact, in one of my previous debunking videos, they're the same person that cropped out some of the cars and showed the two searchers finding bodies. Same group. Just not true whatsoever. Unfortunately, though, there's, I believe, 1,000 people or so in this group, and these people, a lot of them actually believe it. Fortunately, though, there's some people in there that actually don't agree and will speak up, and for those people, I applaud you. Good job. You can't let this kind of garbage go out on the internet. It's ridiculous. Okay, so here's some background information. About, a couple months ago or even further, I was speaking to Becky, the grandmother of Libby, about the case. She liked my videos that I've made on the flow and so forth of the case, and so we started chatting, and she let me know about the timeline that led up to them, the two girls going to the bridge, and about when their father was going to, when Derek, the father of Libby, was going to go pick them up, and when the searchers got there, when the family got there, and then when they called the police at 5:30. Okay, so I was given that information, and then I was given permission to actually put it out there because there was so much wild speculation. So here's the actual information that I was given. Abby and Libby decided to go to the bridge around 1 p.m. and were only allowed to go if they could get a ride there and a ride home. Libby's sister gave them a ride there on the way to a friend's house before going to work. Derek was to pick them up, not at a set time, but would call them between 1.5 and 2 hours after they were dropped off, after running an errand for a family member, which is Becky. The sister dropped them off at 1:45. Okay, so they left the house at 1:30, dropped them off at 1:45. The second picture on the bridge, which was further southeast, was taken at 2:07. The video clip was taken after that at the far end of the bridge. Libby was off of the southeast end of the bridge when she filmed the suspect coming towards them. That part right there I figured out on my own. Or not my own, but without the help of law enforcement or any family members. I had some friends of mine on Facebook that live in the area that actually went out there and filmed, and we were able to determine, after doing a whole bunch of different photographs and videos, exactly where the video was taken that the stills came from. Okay, so that's where that information came from. And then at 3:11 and 3:13, Derek called twice and got no answer. That's when he was just arriving at 3:11 and called, and then he waited a minute or two, then he called again and got no answer. He then started looking for them at 3:30. He went towards the bridge first, then went the other way. So I guess what happened was he went towards the bridge, talked to an older person that was over 70, and he said the only people he saw were a couple that were under the bridge, apparently. Okay, so then Derek went walking the other direction. And so then, as I wrote here, he went towards the bridge first, then he went the other way. The rest of the family got there a little after 4 and started searching. Mike was called at work at 4 to come help. They called law enforcement at 5:20. All right, so that's the accurate information and timeline. All right, and Becky confirmed that, and she even went into the groups on Facebook and confirmed that it was real. All right, so we have that. So here we go. Now we have this person who's seen the timeline, who actually has seen it. It's been shared in all these groups, but instead of going with that, she just kind of goes with the flow, sort of wings it and comes up with her own little numbers and tries to make everything kind of work for her own little mind and story. It's really quite bizarre. So right here it says, I'm going to tell you a story. My information, and yeah, that's exactly right. It's a story, all right. My information is from many aspects and people. I will start with the drop-off time. Many say 1 o'clock. Yes, that's something you said as well. Okay, but it was really around 1:30. Well, no, it wasn't. They left the house at 1:30 and got there around 1:45. The photo was taken of Abby on the bridge at 2:07. That's true. Libby called her father around 2:30 to come get her dad. And that's just not true at all. There was never a call from Libby to her dad. It was just that after an hour and a half or 2 hours, when he got there, he would call them. So Libby never called. So the dad was there at 3. That's untrue too. He wasn't even there at 3:11. He was just about to get there. Right? So he arrived after 3:11, just shortly after. Let's say 3:11 to 3:13. He called again at 3:13. So this is wrong too. So so far we've got this is incorrect. Let's see. Yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff that's incorrect on this page. We got 3:15 is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. It just goes on and on and on. And so let's see. At 3:11 and 3:15, but it should be 3:13. There was no answer. That part is correct. Then there's a name that I blocked out. There was a woman that was on the bridge who said she arrived at 3, and then she took a photo timestamp at 3:49. Then it says, Dad called family to come look for the girls. That's true. Family showed up at 4. Okay, that's pretty accurate. Between 2:30 and 3 is the time frame of the killing. I've said that many times. I think that's pretty accurate right there. I would extend it out. I would say, it's possible from like 2:25 to, 3:10, something like that. But, 2:33 is something I've said often. So let's see. And check this out. 2:07, photo of Abby. No tie sticking up. But at photo 3:49, tie is sticking up. So here's the craziest part of this post is they think that this image of Abby on the bridge and Libby is actually standing on platform 3 and filming back towards the entrance is the same location as this photo. And you see this little railroad tie right there. It's not a tie though, it's an actual railroad spike, but she calls it a tie. I'm just going with her words. She can't see it here, but how come she doesn't notice that there's all these trees right here? There's no tree standing up right here. They don't exist. This is also the forked tree that's behind the suspect in the suspect image. Okay, so look at that. This tree right here, see that shorter branch there, and then this one, then it curves up. Watch, it's the same one. See, it's this one, and then this one curves up. Okay, you can't see that branch there, but she's standing on platform 5. And let me show you the difference here. So here's platform 1 is way over here. 1, 2, 3. See, I have a little L on there for Libby because the photo that she took of Abby is facing back that direction. The first photo on the bridge was taken in this direction by Libby of the full length of the bridge. Okay, the second photo was taken by Libby this direction, and Abby's in the shot. Okay, the shot that the girl took on the bridge was taken on this platform right here. So you've got this platform, platform 4 and 5. The girl was standing on the far edge of this platform and then shot back this direction, and you can see that by looking at it. See how she's out on the edge of the platform filming back, and you can even see in mine I have that tree has been marked for a long time, the forked tree, and there it is, platform 5, the forked tree in the background. That spike sticking up is somewhere around in this area, and if we were to measure that, we would get around 100 yards. Okay, so 98 yards from platform 3 to platform 5. So that completely debunks that theory. I'm not even sure where they come up with this stuff. It's almost like they use very little critical thinking whatsoever. It's unbelievable. Just look at it. Okay, I mean I have my Flow 3 video out there that's 100% accurate on the locations on the bridge, and yet they just don't seem to, I mean, if I was somebody out there, I'd use it as a reference, okay, because it's actually accurate to the foot or inch in some cases. I mean, the exact ties were found that are in these images. Like this railroad tie was found. It's in my video. It's completely lined up with, this little white part here. This. I mean, it's all completely matched up, as well as the first shot. I actually find a particular vine on the railroad ties that line up the very first shot that was taken on the bridge. So you know exactly where all these were taken if you just take the time to watch the video and believe that it's real. It wasn't some weird magic. All right, so now let's continue on here. It says, tie is sticking up. Derek said he ran into a man in his 70s on the trail and asked him if he saw girls. He said he only saw a couple under the bridge. That's true. That's the reason why he turned around and went the other direction. They and then they start talking about the girl that was on the bridge again, and a friend, and a couple that person was that person ran into out there, but it wasn't planned to meet them out there. Okay, that story changes a lot, by the way, she said. I have seen a little some things that are a little different in the different times that I've heard this person explain her being out there, but you know, she has nothing to do with it. Abby was looking down in her photo. This is the part that I wanted to talk about, though. It says, Abby was looking down in the photo, her photo. I think she was looking at something or someone. Ooh, wow. What did she see? I say this because of her body posture. Okay. She looks like she's having a good time, just kind of walking across a bridge. I say this because of her body posture. She was not walking, but standing there. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible she was standing there, but I don't think so. If you notice, her hands are in her pockets. They're not against her body. They're actually out a little bit, and that's how you would do it, trying to keep balance a little bit. If she was just standing there, they would be straight down, you would think. But, you know, she's just walking, having a good time. Abby, she was not walking, but standing there. Abby was afraid of F the bridge, but I think she meant of the bridge. Might have been her first time walking it. And if so, should be a comma there, her hands would have not been in her pockets. So let's see, what is she saying? Abby was afraid of the bridge. Might have been her first time walking it. And if so, her hands would have not been in her pockets. Okay, might have been her first time walking it. And if so if it was her first time, her hands would not have been in her pockets. I mean, it's just, how do you know that? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Okay, she's been out to the bridge a whole bunch of times with Libby, excuse me. She'd been out there a whole bunch of different times. She would have used them for balance. Okay, but her hands are in her pocket, and she's still using her hands as balance, just in the pockets. It was actually sunny, but it was only 46 or 47 degrees out. If she was looking down, watching her step placement. But that is not the case. She was standing looking at something. So now she's claiming that Abby is actually looking at something. Yes, she is looking at something. She's looking at the ties to make sure her feet don't go in between them, and she places them correctly. But that's not what this person's suggesting. She's suggesting she was standing looking at something. Now to my theory. I think Abby was looking at the couple under the bridge. And then she goes on to mention who the couple is. In turn, I think they are our killers. I mean, can you believe that? I mean, it's like watching, reading or watching the show Ancient Aliens, who have they speculate on something, and then they speculate on that, and then speculate on that final speculation, and they come up with this huge theory based on absolute garbage, okay? So in this video right here, we've debunked, it's hard to even count, like 7 or 8 different things, and it's just, there are some accurate pieces of information. It's actually amazing that she was able to get herself to put some accurate information in there just for the sake of, trying to pretend to look like she was trying, but in reality, it's complete garbage. This whole thing here. I mean, not only was it inaccurate, but at the end it comes up with, I think she's looking at the killers, who are the couple under the bridge. yeah, because they just hung out there, right? This is just pure insanity. Anyways, for all you rodeo clowns out there, if you could just try to keep it honest, that'd be great. And for the rest of you who actually try to keep them honest, I appreciate that, and keep up the good work. All right? And we'll be doing another one of these. Thanks. Bye. Hello. This is going to be a video today that's not an actual debunking video, but it's about why I do the debunking videos. I think that when people speculate on a case, they should do it from a foundation of facts. Okay, when you speculate on speculation, you get into la la land. I mean, for example, somebody the other day said, well, that person has blue eyes, so it can't be the suspect. And this other person followed up with, well, maybe they had colored contacts on to make their eyes brown when they're really blue underneath. So let's keep looking at this person. Hey, listen, moron. You're wrong, okay? Just quit the wild speculation. It's insanity, all right? And if you guys could see some of the actual hateful stuff that are in these groups written about me just for doing these videos that debunk absolute garbage, you'd be ashamed of society, okay? Yeah, you might not like the way I talk or the way I joke around or I'm sarcastic or whatever, but it's an absolute embarrassment what you guys are doing, all right? So let's listen to this first clip. This is actually a interview by Alexis McAdams. It's an awesome interview, okay, for Fox 59. All right, and she's interviewing Sergeant Jerry Holman. Now listen to this. It's unbelievable.
We keep working, but and I think a lot of people are misled by some of the Facebook postings, and social media is not as helpful as some people might think. So,
boy, you got that right. Not as helpful as you might think. The Facebook presence in this case, for the most part, has been absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you've got these groups that are all they talk about is rumors, and they're so proud of themselves. You know, it's they even follow up what they say with, "We got this." Yeah, right, because you see 16 faces under the bridge. You know, like an army clinging from the bottom of the bridge, and they're all going to flip up onto the top. It's insane. You know, and I'm just winging this one because I'm so disappointed with these people. It's a joke. All right, now let's listen to what Jerry Holman said a few minutes later.
So that one person knows the details of the crime. That's why we don't like to talk about the details and what we found, what we didn't find, because when we do get that person, we do talk to them, they're the only ones that are going to know the details of this. And that's another reason why we don't like Facebook putting false information out, because then people believe that, and then they tip off of those details that are false, and it just kind of impedes our investigation a little bit.
Exactly. So you see all those people that you post and you say, oh, this is the guy. I mean, you wouldn't believe, I get messages sent to me by absolute, I don't even know what you call these people, but they send me these pictures of different people and they want me to say oh my God, wow, that's so incredible. But I just go, how did you find this person? Well, I was just surfing on Facebook. And then I tell them, well, what do you think the odds are that you were just surfing on Facebook and you saw a guy with a goatee, maybe he had some reddish hair, and by God, you're going to turn him into the tip line? You people are nuts. Okay, now let's move on to the next one.
Here, so we can't release everything we have because there's only certain people that know the details. And if we release everything, then we get into possible false confessions and people over exaggerating, embellishing information and put it on Facebook like we already battle with. So we can only give so much.
Facebook thing, I know that's been that's had a huge effect too on the family. I mean, and that's like, probably a few years ago, if this case would happen, or like a decade ago, that wouldn't even have been a thing. Has that interfered with the case?
Absolutely. I talked to some of the older.
Did you hear that? You people have absolutely interfered with the case. That's why I'm doing these videos.
Investigators, they didn't have to deal with that. When I talk about some of the stresses of social media, I mean, I've had tip on me from interviewing with other stations. Absolutely, we've had tips on other police.
Isn't that disgusting? That some moron was watching this guy give an interview, trying to get the information out, and somebody turned him in. Okay, and you know what's kind of funny about this is early on in this case, on the 23rd of February, which is only 9 days after they were found, I came up with my Flow 3 theory, and I knew it was right. Okay, I felt like it was right at the time. Okay, but people said, "Whoa, this guy knows too much. Oh my God." So they actually turned me into the Indiana State Police website, but instead of crying about it, I uploaded my Flow 3 video. And guess what? It was so accurate that one of them somebody in law enforcement actually contacted me. Okay, and I'm not going to tell you who it was, but they were just impressed with how I was able to come up with the flow of the crime with publicly available information. All right? And that's just the truth. All right? And the reason I'm telling you this now is because in this 27-minute video here, Jerry Holman actually confirms my theory. Okay? And here it is.
We don't know.
When you walked down and I walked through, that was private property, right, where the bodies were found, looking at logistically from, where they were on the bridge and then to where their bodies were found. I know we talked about the terrain in the past. I mean, it's not an easy thing to navigate. Usually you might have to be familiar with the area. I mean, would it have been difficult for the girls to travel from where they were on the bridge to where they were found?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would be difficult. Obviously, they have to go through some pretty steep terrain and wooded area, sticker bushes and things like that. So it's and then to cross the creek, I mean, obviously is.
Did you hear that, rodeo clowns? They were on the other side of the bridge, then they had to cross the creek. So down the hill is right on the other side of the bridge. Okay, there's no other option now. They had to cross the creek. Did you hear that? Okay, good.
February is probably not the warmest. It was a warm day that day, but still the water temperature is probably cooler than the air temperature. So yeah, it would have been difficult I don't think anybody would say, hey, let's on a walk would walk that way. So.
Walking back.
All right, now let's get back to the actual other part of the interview. I just wanted to put that in there because that was really interesting, and I've gone through this similar things. I still have people saying, "Oh, wow, so where does this gray guy live anyways? What is he?" They're looking into me. Isn't that a joke? I mean, you know what? Hey, guess what, everybody? I have a goatee, too. It's got a little gray in it, and I'm actually 51 years old. Oh, my God! Because there aren't 20 million of us in the United States. All right, so let's get back to this.
Officers, for whatever reason, we've had people that do their blogs that put out false information, and if I tell them that's false, and then they embellish and tell people that I'm giving out details of the case, which we're not. I will try to squash any rumors that people call and ask about without jeopardizing the integrity of the investigation. But yeah, then, I can't imagine what the family's going through just because of the incident. But now you have social media with all these rumors and false implications that it just got to be driving them crazy. And
I can tell you for sure it does drive the family crazy. I've actually asked, and it drives them nuts. Okay? All they want is answers, but let's all start getting answers from a foundation of facts. Okay? So once all the facts are known, and there's a lot of facts that are known surrounding the actual murder, okay, once they're known, then you can speculate on that. But when you start with a speculation, you should just start watching the show Ancient Aliens, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's ludicrous. All right.
Talk to the family quite a bit and try to tell them, don't believe everything you hear on social media. I think it could be positive, but what I would say is instead of posting on Facebook, call us before and let us.
Did you hear that? Instead of posting it on social media, call us. You know how many times people post a big drama post, oh, I saw this guy, oh my God. But they don't even, then they say, should I call law enforcement? Well, maybe that's what he's talking about right here. Call them first instead of this huge drama post on Facebook. It's embarrassing. This isn't some game where it's like a, soap opera. It's not a soap opera. Everyone just sit around and make up stuff and, oh, hell, this is so cute and funny. No. Let's just get all the facts that we can, and then speculate on that reasonably. Okay? And I hope that you know what that means.
It's investigated, because once you put it out there and it is false, then it interferes with our investigation, and it bogs us down, because then people start tipping off of false information and we follow up on every tip. So I think social media is a challenge for us, and we're trying to utilize it to the best of our abilities, but it is definitely something that interferes with our investigations at time.
Man, I actually feel sorry for law enforcement in this one. Can you imagine? I mean, all the officers that morons on Facebook have reported. It's just an absolute joke. Anyways, I had to put this video out. This is why I make them. I'm going to keep making them. I'm going to keep debunking the garbage. And when I make factual videos, it will be facts. And if there's speculation in there, it will be based on those facts. Okay? So for you rodeo clowns, quit doing what you're doing. And for the rest of you, keep up the good work. Oh, wow. Look at this. It's incredible. See the eyes right there? And the another eye right there. And it looks like a mouth and then chin. A big nose right here. But can you see that? Look at that. Eye, and maybe some tears right there. And, it was actually popcorn. Huh. That's crazy. And what you just witnessed is a phenomenon called pareidolia. Kind of a strange word I haven't seen before, but I think I pronounced that right. And if you can look right here, it says that it's a, come on, window. The tendency to perceive a specific, often meaningful image in a random or ambiguous visual pattern. Okay, now here's how it's pronounced.
Pareidolia.
Okay, let's listen to that again.
Pareidolia.
Wait a minute, did you hear the way that guy sounded? He sounded like the same guy that says down the hill. Whoa, maybe you should call up Webster Dictionary, see who makes these recordings, and see if he was anywhere near Indiana at the time. It's amazing. Let's do that again.
Pareidolia.
Can you hear that? Down the hill.
Pareidolia.
Kind of has that scruffy sound. Wow. Okay, see, that's actually what people do in these groups. They go off on these wild tangents, and believe me, they're wild tangents. They don't perceive it that way, though. That's just that's the truth. They just don't want to hear it. And look, here's an example of one that I did. My friend tried to trick me. She sent me this image. You go, look at that. Can you see the, there's like a beagle. It's pooping. It's got the ears, the nose right there, top of the head. It's crouched down. You can see it. Look at that. It's over there, doing its thing. And I was like, I don't know. Looks kind of too small. So I had her send me the original image. And by God, it's a Dasania water bottle. Looks nothing like a beagle when you take away all the blurriness. See? I don't know if it is a Dasania water bottle, but it looks like one, okay? But here's the blurry image. And look at that. It's the same image. But when you blur it out and you start zooming in on pixels, you can see all kinds of random things. All right? So that's an example that... at first I thought, wow, that does look like a beagle. But the difference between me and a lot of people that I know and some of these Facebook people that are the wild speculator types is that once presented with the image that's clear and shows the water bottle, which, this one clearly shows that it's a water bottle, I then don't keep going back to this image and saying, no, but everybody, look at that. It's really a beagle. Okay, once you see this right here, you should change your complete idea of the situation and move on. Okay, but what we keep seeing is that even after this, things have been explained to some people, they keep bringing it up. They can't let it go because they were so, they believed it so strongly that they can't let it go. It's like cognitive dissonance, or, there's another term, I think it's called, confirmation bias. Now they can't let it go, so everything they look at will help try to explain what they believe instead of actually changing their own mind based on the new evidence that they've received. Okay, and here's another one. A lot of people said they see a face right here, and this was on Mars, okay? NASA even sent a satellite to Mars and filmed that specific area to see if it indeed was a face put there by some long-lost civilization. All right, so let's move it forward here. You can see, here's another satellite image. It's getting a little dicey now, not really a face. And then 1976, that was the one that sort of started looking like a face, but then now it doesn't look anything like a face when they get really clear resolution on it. Okay, it's still kind of an interesting overall shape, but it's not a face, all right? And here's a dolphin in the clouds, okay? We all know that's not a dolphin, but when you look at it, the first thing you think of is a dolphin. Now, some of you will probably say, no, Gray, I saw an airplane, tilted sideways, just to be contradictory. Okay, and here's another one. The chin, big lower lip, big nose coming up there, eye socket, forehead coming around, but we all know that's not really a face, right? It's in the clouds. Now that we know about the phenomenon called pareidolia, we understand why people see the things they see. For example, this is what today's debunking video number 7 will be about. The area enclosed in green right here. People say they see a car there, a person here, maybe up to 3 people and 4 cars they see. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to show you why that's not true. But first, let's see some of the comments they made. It's either a black small Ford or dark blue Honda hatchback. I mean, to get that specific in just some darkness is, pure lunacy. And then listen to this. There are also 3 men in close proximity of your blue circle. So they're supportive of the car, and now they're going to add in, there's 3 people in here. And then this person was being sarcastic. There's those cars again nobody sees. This is one of the clearest pictures I've ever seen, being sarcastic about how blurry it actually is. Okay. And here's another spot they circled, another person circled. This is the same pillar right here. They say they see somebody. Geez, if you look at it closely, it looks like somebody has a bikini, black bikini top on, a bag over head there, shoulder, right elbow. I'm not sure what else is going on there, but you know what? I know that's just not true because it's a pillar, okay? Just look at it clearly and objectively. Go do research. Find videos and references, and then you'll find that you're just not accurate. Okay, now we're even zooming in. So see this area right here? Look at this. So now they're zooming in even further onto that. So this part right there is actually right there. Unbelievable. So now we're getting into really small, highly pixelated stuff. And look at, they're pointing at this little dark spot. As if you can... Why? Okay, so if that's a head there with a black hat, why isn't that one, this one, this one, that one, this one? Why aren't all of those people? Okay, it's amazing that you would just sort of claim that that's a black hat guy. And look at that, at least 4, maybe more. Surely the FBI knows about this. No wonder the investigation is taking so long. A gang or a group? Really? 4 cars? Hopefully that was somebody that was skeptical. But then this person says, can I share? And that's where it all begins. It gets spread around in all the groups. Then other people start seeing these shapes in their head because it was pointed out to them. Okay, so now let me get into the actual technical aspect of why this just is not real. Okay, so let's get started with this. This is a video created by Julie Melvin. It's a lot clearer than the video that's out on... oh, and by the way, let's pause it. Look at that. There's a person watching again right there. That's a callback from an earlier debunking video. Right, but this is the clear video by Julie Melvin. And if you notice, this is platform number 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and it's she's out a little further out onto the platform than Libby was. Okay, and if you notice, here is the damaged railroad tie right there. You can see this white, I don't know, it almost looks like paint, but obviously it's probably not paint. Different discolorations right there. And let's see, let's keep the video. Now it's going to pause, and here is the overlay of the image of Abby. Now if you notice right there, that's exactly the spot here, right there and right there. And as you can tell, Libby is further onto the bridge than Julie Melvin is. Okay, now notice this angle right here of the railroad ties is different than this angle, which actually goes a little bit the other direction. So that means, and you can also tell that, notice the side rail on the tracks, the angle of that. This one's much steeper. So she's out further. And notice how you can see underneath the bridge, the girders there. Well, you can see more of it. All right. So we're seeing more detail, but this is amazingly almost in exactly the same position. And let's see. So that right here, when you're looking on the left end here, you see this pylon made of stones that holds up the girders that support the bridge. So the pylon goes in, the girders go on top of the pylon. I'm not sure how they're fastened or if they go inside of it and it's molded around. I don't know, but this is a metal, a stone pylon, and they're all along the bridge on the land portion on the southeast side of the creek. All right. So in this case, we're actually looking back towards the start of the bridge on the northwest side. All right. So this is a stone pylon. And we're gonna get into some more detail on that in just a second. All right. Now in this image, you can see a set of them right here. There's another set right there between through the trees that you can't actually see. But as you can see, there's one on that side and this side, and I think they continue along the bridge as it goes. All right. Now here's a closer up. You can see it. Here's platform 3 up here, by the way. So, this is probably the exact rock pylon that we're looking at in the in the image of Abby. All right, now here is some drone footage by Jacob Adams, and I'm going to scroll through this slowly, and I think you can actually make them out right here. Keep your eye on this sort of this formation right here, okay? See that? And it's the stone, looks like the stone pylon right below the girders. So it goes into it, on top of it. Okay, and you can see another set here, here, and it just keeps on going. All right, so that's that portion. Okay, now let's take a clear look at underneath the bridge. I'm going to do an overlay, which was pretty incredible that it was almost identical. Julie Melvin's image from her video and the image that Libby took on the bridge. It's almost identical, other than what I explained earlier. So here we go. There's the image that Libby took of Abby. And there's the portion in question that everybody is talking about, that they see a person there and a car right there. Now, I slid it over. Now watch this. It's pretty remarkable. I'm going to blink it on and off. Look at that. I mean, look, you can even line up, all the trees are lining up. Okay, now you see, that's actually the rock pylon right there. Okay, let's keep linking it. And also notice where they say the car is, right there, okay? See how there's shadows? If you kind of squint your eyes, you can see it's darker there. You know, it just depends on how you darken up the image or process it. If you look at Libby's photo, it's a lot darker in general, okay? So I'm going to blink it on and off. Now, you can just tell that there's no car there, right? I mean, I'm going to blink it on and off. One interesting thing is, if you notice right here, there's a stripe. You can see these stripes when you blink it. So these are actually, I'm not sure if it's wood or more metal, but they protrude out right there. Okay, and I actually zoom in on it right here. So if you can see that, you can see them sticking out right there. Now this one right here, because of the angle that Julie is filming at, it doesn't go out quite as far, but if you imagine moving to your right a little bit, this thing protrudes out and it would probably be about right here, okay? And that's what we're seeing when we, let's put that back on, right there. You see that? So that's what gives that sort of extra nodule when you go back and forth. All right, there's no person there. And here's an image taken by Beth Moyer Klein. This is filming from platform 1. And if you look right there, those two trees are the same two trees that are actually right here. Okay, these two trees are the same as these two trees. And basically right in here is where they're saying that car is parked. And it just isn't. Okay, there's no car. Look how dense that is too. I mean, to navigate through all of these and then park here. And why would you park right there anyways? I mean, that means anybody walking across could see that there were cars there. Why? That's just a terrible place to do anything for the people who believe there was a drug deal going on, or for the people who think that the suspect just hid down there. I mean, I think it's ludicrous. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this. I think it's useful to keep seeing this back and forth. Right here is actually some water. In February, when I blink it back and forth, you'll see that there's actually water right there. Okay, and it runs into the creek. And again, you can see that in Beth's image right there. I think this video completely debunks the myth that there is a car and people in the image of Abby below the bridge. If we're intellectually honest, we'll say that it's possible that there's a suspect under the bridge, or a person under the bridge, maybe not even the suspect, that we can't see in any of the images that that Libby took while she was on the bridge. Okay, we cannot say that for sure, but I can say for sure that in the image of Abby on the bridge, in the portion that is outlined in green, that there are no people and there are no cars in that image. Okay, let's take one last look at it. Blink it on and off. All right, just keep looking at it. If you notice, when you have perspective, when you actually can see it in a real world blinking on and off, you can tell that that just isn't a large enough area for a car to be in. All right, look at that. I mean, if that's a car, it's a little tiny car that an infant probably wouldn't even fit in. You know, maybe, you know, one of those ones you have little pedals in, something like that. But that's about it. All right. So, for all you rodeo clowns out there that will still say that they see a car and they see a person or people or many cars and many people, you're just wrong, okay? And quit doing it. It's not helping anybody. They're all going, oh wow, look at that, and then they start looking in the cars and, you know, different paths and stuff. The cars might be under the bridge there, and it's just, you know, it's wild. It's wild. Okay, and for the rest of you out there, keep on doing what you do, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
And thank you all very much for watching. If you hit that like button and share the video and subscribe to the channel, that would be great. Leave a comment. That all helps out the algorithm. And at the end of this video, there will be a link on the screen to watch the next video in the series. Now, obviously, when it gets to the last video, that part of this message won't be valid. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and until next time, be safe out there.